cargo hold, detonated just 38 minutes into the flight. The blast caused the plane to break apart mid-air, scattering wreckage across 845 square miles. Investigations determined that the bomb had been placed inside a suitcase, loaded in Malta, transferred in Frankfurt, and loaded onto Flight 103 at London Heathrow. The device was triggered by a barometric pressure switch, detonating once the plane reached cruising altitude. In 2001, Libyan intelligence officer Abdel Basket al-Magrahi was convicted for the bombing after a lengthy trial held under Scottish law in the Netherlands. Libya formally accepted responsibility in 2003 and paid compensation to victims' families, though it did not admit guilt. The Lockerbie bombing was the deadliest terror attack on British soil and one of the most complex aviation security cases in history. It exposed serious vulnerabilities in international luggage screening and airport security protocols. The incident also had major diplomatic consequences, with years of sanctions and tension between Libya, the US, and the UK. Over time, the
Hello, hello.
Nothing on stop. Recharging my shields, guys. Open wide. Comes the drill.
Just topping off my shields.
Tossing up some amp cover. Backing up my cover.
Ah. Bad audio. It sounded like he was coming from the other side.
I'm back and charged up. Let's get to work.
Tossing up some amp cover.
Anything else, bro?
Just topping off my shields.
Amp cover for you, mate.
Oh, come on, I'm just...
Care package being delivered. Sponsored by Chevrex.
Fence in position.
Recharging my shields, guys. Gotta drill some sensors here. Right, getting my cover out of here.
Attention. Delivering care package. Sponsored by Chevrex.
Charging my shields. I'm back, you Charging my shields. Tossing up some amp cover. Charging my shields. My cover out of here.
How did he hit every shot?
To the stick. Recharge.
Dit is zonde.
Planting fences. Recharging my shield.
Yeah, nah. Maggie ain't even close to dead. I'm back and ready to kill.
Recharging my shield.
Sponsored by Shadrax.
Here's a stick. Recharging my shield. Putting up the last cover. Stop.
Restocking up my shields. Putting up some cover. Throwing cover. Restocking my shields.
There goes my cover, man.
Maybe.
Fence them in.
Feels good to be back.
Or
Let's show them how it's done.
Time to drop, shock, and rock. Give my shields a recharge. Being delivered. By Shadrax.
Tossing up some amped cover.
how long does the smoke take to come out? What? 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 How long does the smoke take to? Do I have a skin for you? Oh, this ugly skin.
Ready to dive? Ooh, what if we beats the rocket?
soldier. The games, maybe Bangalore.
Congratulations. You just called in the big guns.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
What is he red? Stop the smokes. You can see the enemies. Okay.
Sorry, my bad. I thought you were someone else.
Care package being delivered. Sponsored by Chevrex.
Arcstar!
Give my shield a recharge. Give my shield a recharge.
By Chevrex.
Pop in the chimney. Give my shield a recharge.
Can't fight without popping smoke. Sorry, bro. Sorry.
Sponsored by Chevrex.
Pop in the chimney.
Stuck.
I'm back. Let's smoke 'em.
Throw an Arcstar!
Enemies knocking at the door. Give me a second. Recharging shields. Moving in the chimney.
Attention. Package sponsored by Chevrex.
Must go faster!
Well,
It's good to be back. Let's show 'em how it's done.
oh wait.
Sponsored by Chevrex.
Oh.
Charging on my shields.
I'm spotted.
Oh, that's got a kick! On to the Arcstar! Serving them dropping the mother load. Pop your brollies.
I might play Bang more, maybe. अब बबलू चल पड़ा है चल 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 हो गया चल चल Let's play some music. Alright, let's play
Cases remain
this.
controversial, with some questioning the reliability of the evidence. Against al-Magrahi, he was released in 2009 due to terminal illness and died in Libya in 2012. Memorials in Lockerbie, the United States,
right
and at
choice.
Arlington National Cemetery continue to honor the victims. Before 9/11, the Oklahoma City bombing was the deadliest act of domestic terror in U.S. history. On April 19, 1995, the Alfred P. Mora Federal Building in downtown Oklahoma City was destroyed by a massive truck bomb, killing 168 people and injuring more than 600. The attack was carried out by Timothy McVeigh, a Gulf War veteran, with assistance from co-conspirator Terry Nichols. McVeigh parked a rental truck with approximately 5,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate fertilizer, fuel oil, and other explosives outside the building. At 9:02 a.m., the bomb detonated, causing catastrophic structural damage and killing men, women, and children, many of whom were in a daycare center housed within the building. The blast destroyed 1/3 of the 9-story structure and damaged over 300 nearby buildings. The motive behind the bombing was rooted in anti-government sentiment. McVeigh claimed the attack was a retaliation for the federal government's actions during the sieges at Ruby Ridge in 1992 and Waco in 1993. He was arrested just 90 minutes after the bombing for a traffic violation and later linked to the attack through forensic evidence. McVeigh was executed in 2001, and Nichols received a life sentence. The Oklahoma City bombing led to widespread changes in U.S. law enforcement and counter-terror. It prompted new legislation aimed at preventing domestic terror and increased security around federal buildings nationwide. The attack also brought attention to extremist militia movements within the country. Today, the Oklahoma City National Memorial stands on the site of the Mora building, honoring those who lost their lives in one of the most shocking attacks on American soil. The September 11th terror attack was one of the most devastating events in modern history. It happened in the United States on the morning of September 11th, 2001. That day, 19 individuals from the extremist group Al-Qaeda hijacked 4 commercial airplanes. Each plane was used as a weapon to target key locations in the United States. At 8:46 a.m., the first plane, American Airlines Flight 11, crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City. 17 minutes later, United Airlines Flight 175 struck the South Tower. At 9:37 a.m., a third American Airlines Flight 77 hit the Pentagon, the headquarters of the U.S. military. The fourth plane, United Airlines Flight 93, was headed for Washington, D.C., but passengers fought back. That plane crashed into a field in Pennsylvania before it could reach its target. The attack caused massive destruction and loss of life. Around 3,000 people were killed, including firefighters, police officers, and medical teams who responded to the scenes. The Twin Towers collapsed within hours, filling the air with dust and debris. Buildings around the area were also damaged. Rescue workers spent weeks searching through the rubble for survivors and victims. Many first responders later suffered from breathing problems and other health issues due to the dust and smoke. In response, the United States launched a military campaign known as the War on Terror. Just weeks after the attack, American forces entered Afghanistan to fight Al-Qaeda and remove the Taliban from power. Nearly 10 years later, in 2011, U.S. Navy SEALs found and killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda in Pakistan. His death was seen as a major moment in the fight against terror, but many challenges remained. Today, September 11th is remembered each year as a day of mourning and reflection. On October 12, 2002, a series of coordinated bombings struck the tourist district of Kuta on the Indonesian island of Bali. The attacks killed 202 people and injured over 200 others, making it the deadliest act of terror in Indonesia's history. Many of the victims were foreign tourists, including 88 Australians, 38 Indonesians, and others from more than 20 countries. The attack began with a small bomb detonated inside Paddy's Pub, a popular nightclub. As survivors fled outside, a second, much larger bomb exploded from a van parked in front of the nearby Seri Club, causing massive destruction. A third device exploded near the U.S. consulate in Denpasar but caused no injuries. The attacks were carried out by members of Jemaah Islamiyah, a Southeast Asian Islamist extremist group with ties to Al-Qaeda. The bombing shocked Indonesia and the international community. Investigations led to the arrest of several key suspects, including bomb maker Azahari Hussein and strategist Hambali. 3 men were sentenced to death and executed in 2008. The attacks exposed serious weaknesses in Indonesia's counter-terror capabilities at the time and prompted a significant overhaul of the country's security and intelligence operations. The Bali bombings also changed how countries approach travel security in the region, with Australia and others increasing cooperation with Southeast Asian nations on counter-terror efforts. Memorials have since been built in Bali, Australia, and other nations to honor the victims. On March 11, 2004, a series of coordinated bombings targeted the commuter train system in Madrid, Spain, killing 193 people and injuring around 2,000. 10 explosives occurred on 4 trains during the morning rush hour, just 3 days before Spain's general elections. The attacks remain the deadliest terror incidents in Spanish history. Initially, Spanish authorities suspected the Basque separatist group ETA, but evidence quickly pointed to Islamic extremists inspired by Al-Qaeda. The bombs were packed in backpacks and detonated by mobile phones. Investigators later found a van containing detonators and Quranic tapes, which led them to a cell of Moroccan and other North African militants based in Spain. The attack shocked Europe and had major political consequences. Public anger over the government's handling of the investigation and its support for the Iraq War influenced the outcome of the elections, resulting in a surprise victory for the opposition party. Within weeks, Spain withdrew its troops from Iraq. In the aftermath, Spanish police arrested dozens of suspects, and in 2007, 21 individuals were tried. Several were convicted, though some high-profile suspects were acquitted due to lack of evidence. The bombings led to major reforms in Spain's intelligence coordination and transportation security. The Beslan school siege was one of the deadliest terror attacks in Russian history. It began on September 1, 2004, in the town of Beslan in North Ossetia, when heavily armed militants took more than 1,100 people hostage at school number 1. Most of the captives were children, along with their parents and teachers, gathered for the first day of school celebrations. The attackers were mostly Chechen and Ingush militants, affiliated with the separatist movement seeking independence from Russia. Their goal is to demand the withdrawal of Russian forces from Chechnya. Over the course of 3 days, hostages were held in a crowded gymnasium without food, water, or medical aid. The situation worsened as explosives were placed throughout the building, and several hostages were executed to pressure the authorities. On September 3rd, Russian security forces stormed the school after explosions and gunfire were heard inside. The assault resulted in a chaotic and violent firefight. In the end, 334 hostages were killed, including 186 children. Hundreds more were injured. The operation faced criticism for its lack of coordination and excessive force, and many families accused the government of mishandling the rescue. The Beslan massacre shocked the world and exposed the brutality of the Chechen insurgency, as well as flaws in Russia's counter-terror strategy. The Russian government responded by tightening national security laws and increasing central control over regional governments. On November 23, 2006, a series of car bombings and mortar attacks struck the Shiite district of Sadr City in Baghdad, Iraq, killing at least 215 people and injuring more than 250 others. It was one of the deadliest single-day attacks during the Iraq War and resulted in a sharp escalation in the sectarian violence that plagued the country after the fall of Saddam Hussein. The attack involved multiple car bombs that detonated within minutes of each other in a busy marketplace. This was followed by mortar fire targeting the surrounding area. The bombings took place at midday when the market was filled with civilians, maximizing the destruction. The coordinated nature of the attack pointed to a high level of planning. The assault was widely believed to have been carried out by Sunni extremist groups linked to Al-Qaeda in Iraq, with the intention of provoking a violent response from Shiite militias. The incident came just days after the killing of a prominent Sunni cleric, further inflaming tensions. In retaliation, Shiite militias launched counterattacks, contributing to a cycle of violence that pushed Iraq closer to civil war. The Iraqi government responded by imposing a curfew, shutting down the airport, and deploying additional security forces. Despite these measures, sectarian violence continued to spiral throughout 2006 and 2007. The 2008 Mumbai attacks were a series of coordinated terror strikes that took place over 4 days, from November 26 to the 29th, in India's largest city. 10 gunmen, trained and armed by the Pakistan-based militant group Lashkar-e-Taiba, carried out 12 separate attacks across multiple locations. A total of 175 people were killed, including 18 security personnel and 26 foreign nationals, while over 300 others were injured. The attackers arrived by sea and split into teams, targeting high-profile sites such as the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel, the Oberoi Trident Hotel, the Chhatrapati Shivaji train station, and the Jewish community center known as Nariman House. They used automatic weapons and grenades, taking hostages and setting parts of building on fire. Indian commandos engaged in intense gun battles, and the siege at the Taj Hotel lasted nearly 60 hours. The only surviving attacker, Ashmal Kasab, was captured and later executed in 2012 after a high-profile trial. Investigations linked the operation to Lashkar-e-Taiba, with support from elements within Pakistan's intelligence network, heightening tensions between India and Pakistan. The attacks revealed significant weaknesses in India's intelligence sharing and emergency response capabilities. As a result, the Indian government overhauled its counter-terror framework, established the National Investigation Agency, and enhanced coastal security. The 2008 Mumbai attacks remain one of the most traumatic events in India's modern history. They brought global attention to the threat of cross-border terror and left a lasting mark on international security policy in South Asia. On July 22, 2011, Norway experienced the deadliest attack on its soil since World War II. The assaults were carried out by a lone individual, Anders Behring Breivik. He first detonated a car bomb near government buildings in central Oslo, killing 8 people and damaging several ministries, including the office of the Prime Minister. Less than 2 hours later, Breivik, dressed as a police officer, traveled to the island of Utoya, where a youth camp organized by the Labour Party was underway. He opened fire on campers, systematically hunting and killing 69 people, most of them being teenagers. The shooting lasted over an hour before police arrested him. Breivik claimed he was motivated by far-right ideology, blaming multiculturalism and immigration for what he viewed as the decline of European society. He published a manifesto online shortly before the attack, outlining his extremist beliefs and calling for violence. He was later tried and sentenced to 21 years in prison, which is Norway's maximum sentence, with the possibility of extension. The attack shocked a nation known for its peaceful reputation and led to a national reflection on extremism and security preparedness. On September 21, 2013, 4 armed gunmen stormed the Westgate shopping mall in Nairobi, Kenya. The upscale mall was packed with shoppers when the attackers, affiliated with the
Enemy there.
Further.
Understood. The trap is set. Data follow. Firing. Reloading. Here comes the old knuckle taking damage. Gas trap deployed. Shields are recharging.
Got an upgrade waiting. 2 choices, 2 roads.
There is a new kill leader.
I have a subject in view. Administering medical aid. We should probe that sector over there.
Hurry up, hurry up.
Punching a tunnel. Portal's ready.
Take the portal.
Making contact with enemies. Going to phase. Hostile close. Making contact with enemy.
Charging shields.
Enemy shield broken. Hostile right here.
Stand back. Knuckle cluster's firing. Cracked an enemy shield. your feet, mate. Administering medical aid.
Another squad's attacking. Focus. Next ring's not very close.
Yeah.
Standing down.
Nice try, Slick. But my try was just a little bit nicer.
Move that way.
Somali Islamist group Al-Shabaab opened fire and began a deadly siege that lasted 4 days. At least 67 people were killed and over 175 were injured. The attackers targeted non-Muslims, reportedly allowing some hostages to leave after quizzing them on Islamic practices. They used automatic weapons and grenades, taking control of large parts of the mall, and setting fires during the standoff. Kenyan security forces launched multiple rescue operations, facing stiff resistance inside the complex. Responsibility was claimed by Al-Shabaab, who said that the attack was in retaliation for Kenya's military intervention in Somalia. The siege was widely covered by international media and drew condemnation from around the world. Surveillance footage later showed the attackers moving calmly through the mall, suggesting detailed planning. Kenyan officials were criticized for the slow response and poor coordination between military and police units during the rescue efforts. The Westgate Mall attack highlighted the regional threat posed by Al-Shabaab and raised concerns about the group's ability to strike beyond Somalia. It also led to increased counter-terror cooperation between Kenya and its allies. Gunmen from the Somali-based militant group Al-Shabaab launched a brutal assault on Garissa University College in eastern Kenya in the early hours of April 2, 2015. The attackers stormed the campus during morning prayers, killing security guards before targeting dormitories filled with sleeping students. The militants separated Muslim and non-Muslim students, executing many of the latter on the spot. The siege lasted nearly 15 hours, leaving 148 people dead, which were mostly students, and over 80 injured. Kenyan security forces eventually cornered and killed the 4 attackers. Several accomplices were later arrested, including individuals who helped plan the operation. Al-Shabaab stated the attack was in retaliation for Kenya's military presence in Somalia, warning of further violence unless the troops withdrew. The Garissa massacre exposed gaps in regional intelligence and raised concerns about soft targets like schools and universities. The incident also prompted a national outcry, with Kenya declaring 3 days of mourning. Security was tightened across educational institutions in the country, and additional anti-terror operations were launched in Kenya's northeastern regions. On November 13, 2015, a series of terror attacks struck Paris, France,
somebody's
killing 130
watching
people and
me.
injuring over 400. The attackers, linked to the Islamic State, targeted
Pablo. हमने
Let's go. Sniper arsenal here. My first kill was with a sniper rifle, you know?
I'll see you. Sniper.
Attention. Evo harvesters are online.
extra supplies here, Pops.
We're inside the ring. I'm positive. Laying fences. We are not alone. Look over here. Trouble.
Bogies on radar. Check your map.
Just stop it. Enemy in sight.
Padlocked a bandit. Fox 3, missile off the rails. Reloading.
I spotted an enemy.
Taking fire.
Enemy, stand back. Knuckle clusters firing.
Charging on my shield.
Taking damage. Just stop it.
Taking fire. Reloading. Shields on that bandit.
Deploying me knuckle cluster.
Setting a fence.
Under fire. Charging on my shield.
Planting fences.
Taking fire.
Oh, sure it's on down. Taking fire. Shields on that bandit.
Come on, everyone.
I'm the new kill leader. I gotcha. Hey, how about no more dying today? Hold up. Healing.
Everything hurts. I need to amp up my health. Healing my wounds.
Got ourselves a bandit out there.
Enough fight would be energizing.
Oh, I didn't even get the one kill.
Got a ways to go for the next ring. Tally on bandit out there.
Replicator incoming. How good is that?
Focus up. I hear an enemy out there somewhere. One sec. Healing up.
No more resistance. Time for an upgrade.
We should maneuver that area.
Hell yeah.
Alert 5, ready to scorch for burn. Main engine burn. For those traveling with small children, this is a blood sport. What's wrong with you?
Rings close, with a minute to spare.
Gotta lock on our enemy's positions. It's on. We should cruise over there.
Rings close, 45 seconds on the clock. Today's coming up ace.
Bogey spotted out
Perhaps
there.
I should select an
Rings
upgrade.
near with 30 on the clock. Let's move.
We can scan this area. Ten seconds and the ring's just ahead.
Listen up, fellas. The ring's moving and we're on the wrong side of it.
Incoming care package. Pro tip, don't try intercepting something at Mach 1.
Without an upgrade, I'm at a disadvantage. Laying fences. There's an Evo harvester here. Healing my wounds.
Let's check that quadrant.
I'm looking for sniper ammo.
Looking here, got a bandit. Bogey spotted.
We are not alone. Look over here.
Crack, taking fire. Got 3, escape unlocked. Reloading, charging on my shield.
Already in some bad damage.
Bogey in sight.
Fence in position.
Replicator incoming. Get him up, you fellas.
Just now. No, I'm in trouble.
Got another
Just topping
bandit.
up my shields.
Launching me knuckle cluster.
Frag out.
Bad damage.
Frag out.
Recharging my shields.
Hits on that bandit.
An upgrade would be energizing.
Deploying me knuckle cluster.
Hide. Another thing on them.
Bogey right here. Bandit, we have another squad extending.
Putting down a
Taking
fence.
fire. Charging up. Healing. Putting fire. Off the rails.
Just
faster.
Eat a thermite grenade.
Here comes the old knuckle cluster.
Crack shields on that building. Reloading. Taking fire. Replicate. We got another squad attacking us.
Launching frag.
Charging shield.
1 minute. The ring's spitting distance, folks.
Follow me, follow me.
Zipline here. Watching here.
Follow me.
Let's check this quadrant. Alert 5. Ready to scorch for burn. Burners go. Rings just a little further. Drinks are not complimentary on this flight, though you'll wish to God they were soon enough.
Move there.
Let's check that quadrant.
Can't open.
And fancy. Shush now. No more stones.
Reloading. Firing.
Looky here, lads.
Crack shields on that bandit.
Fail there.
Charging up my shield.
Enemy here. Hold on to your asses.
Crack the bogey shield. Fox 30 just off the rail. Bogey in sight.
Enemy right here.
Rings close and we've still got a minute. Got another bandit.
Ah,
Charging on my shields.
arabanın turdu.
45 seconds until it closes.
Another bloody squad's attacking us. Serving them a knuckle sandwich.
Down to 30 seconds. Rings just a little further.
Enemy here.
Got a bandit.
Fence in position. 10 seconds. The game
Bogey
is
here.
close.
Bogey here.
Another squad's joining the fight. Launching me knuckle cluster.
Red Captain Rings. Move, unless you want to get barbecued. Charging on my shields. Let's scan this area. Alert 5, Valkyrie Actual. Ready for burn. How copy? Burn is a go. Drinks are not complimentary on this flight, though you'll wish to God they were soon enough.
Right, we got 1v3. What? I got 6 viewers. shit.